Hi everyone, welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, Economist Intelligence Unit warns Ghana and other African countries that high inflation and interest rates could continue to weigh on growth and investor confidence. Also, government says end of September as new date for full takeoff of Ghana Financial Stability Fund. Plus, Cocoa Board puts participation in action program at 97% with over 7 billion cedis worth of bills tendered. Details coming up. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for joining us. Good morning to our friends listening from Kofor Radio on KTU Radio. First up, government has now set the end of September this year as the new date for the Ghana Financial Stability Fund to take off. It's coming after an earlier date was reviewed by the Finance Ministry, but government says it has now secured the initial seed capital for this fund as well as some commitment from the country's donor partners. The Ghana Association of Banks in a recent report pushed for a quick establishment of the fund to support banks facing liquidity challenges. Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam is Minister of State at the Finance Ministry.
This is money government is putting in place as well as the World Bank. We are contributing about $500 million. The World Bank wants to do about $250 million. And this is the first phase of the funds that we are going to disburse to banks that see challenges. But for solvency issues, yes, some have, especially the state banks with state interest. And they are the target banks for support under the Financial Stability Fund. You also know that government is embarking on an aggressive growth strategy. And to be able to achieve that, we need to be able to provide the private sector with capital so that they can be able to invest. And therefore, finalizing the Financial Stability Fund and then implementing it as quickly as we could will also help the private sector have access to capital through our local financial institutions to support our growth.
You had Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, who is Minister of State at the Finance Ministry. Cocoa Board is pegging participation in its debt action program at 97% with over 7 billion cedis worth of bills tendered after the program ended last Friday. Cocoa Board in July this year launched its Cocoa Bills exchange program to restructure almost 8 billion cedis worth of debt. Cocoa Board, however, says the settlement will now be done on September 4 instead of this Thursday. In a related development, financing of Cocoa Board activities in the coming months could be under threat because banks have directed Cocoa Board to freeze its bills submitted for participation in the debt exchange program. This is as a result of delays in securing release for participation in the Cocoa Bills debt exchange program. The banks say the failure to secure these release will affect their ability to stay in business and finance Cocoa Board in the coming months. Now, despite the International Monetary Fund giving some indications that government is meeting key indicators before a review of Ghana's program, economist Dr. Patrick Esuming is of the view that the development will not speed up the assessment exercise. The IMF, in a question and answer session, said government has made some progress on targets set by the fund to help in economic recovery. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Esuming said the timelines will not be affected.
I don't see this necessarily as speeding up that process. I think the timelines are largely defined. When the reviews will be done, I don't think they are going to be moved. It just tells us that it's likely that when the next review is done, the government will be rated positively in terms of progress that has been made. And that increases the likelihood that there will be a pass and then the next release might come before the end of the year. But I don't think that it's going to bring forward the time that the review will be done or the time that this investment will be made. I think those are based on set timelines.
Dr. Patrick Esuming is an economist. Now, the Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU, is warning Ghana and other African countries that high inflation and interest rates could continue to weigh on growth and investor confidence over the 2023-2024 forecast period. That's according to its latest report dubbed Africa's Operational Risk Outlook. Here's more.
It said, these situations disrupt businesses, investment, and economic growth, leading to uncertain operating environments. Furthermore, The UK-based organization pointed out that although greater focus will be placed on building regional markets and value chains, progress on the continent-wide African Continental Free Trade Area will remain slow. This is given the complexities and challenges of setting up effective trading arrangements and existing non-tariff barriers such as poor regional infrastructure connectivity. In addition, widespread corruption in public services, a lack of accountability among civil servants, limited government control beyond key urban capital centers, a lack of judicial independence, among others, will continue to hold back Africa's operational risk environment in the medium term. Meanwhile, the 5 best-rated African countries for operational risk in Africa as of mid-2023 are Mauritius, Cape Verde, Botswana, South Africa, and Morocco.
All right, to other news stories, the next pricing window of petroleum products is a few days ahead, and already there are some indications that prices at the pumps may remain unchanged, but Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amwa, is projecting a slight upward adjustment of 5 pesos. He spoke to Joy Business.
International markets continue to be high. We've not seen any decline in benchmark figures. So FOB prices that for this window were hovering around 960. As we speak, you could be doing 972, 973. It is some significant forward adjustment, but not too significant to probably cause the kind of upward increment that we have seen in the past. So potentially, see some few pesos added, or prices could equally be stabilized. But I'm certain that we will get some final figures for the BDs in the close of business.
While commenting on the cylinder recirculation model set to be rolled out on the 1st of September, Duncan Amwa said he was optimistic that the rollout will not change the market dynamics.
Earlier, there were media reports that clearly would need the Ghana card alone to be able to access LPG beyond the rollout. Truth is that the current LPG setup, where you can pick your gas bottle to any of the outlets and be able to buy LPG, is not going to be phased out immediately. So you will still be able to access gas from the LPG outlet. Any form of valid national ID card could see one register to pick a bottle home as far as the cylinder recirculation program is concerned.
Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amwa. Some aviation news now. Nigeria has fully endorsed a move by some members of the African Union to implement the Single African Air Transport Market Initiative, which aims at improving internal air transport for the African continent. This is a major stride as Nigeria is positioned among big players in the aviation space. Now, speaking to Joy Business, Director General of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Musa Nuhu, disclosed that this will facilitate the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
SATM Single African Air Transport Market is a must for Africa, and we all fully support it. And we've seen political commitments from several states, including Ghana, including Nigeria, who have signed the memorandum of implementation. And we have the African Continental Free Trade Area. Without SATM, without transportation within Africa, without easy, I can enter a plane from any city in Africa and go to another city in Africa with minimal delays, with minimal connections at a good cost. It encourages people to travel and do business. If you look at the size of Africa, for now, the easiest means of transportation is by air, because the amount of money, the quantum of money and resources you need to build road transport, rail transport, connecting the whole of Africa, and also if you look at security issues in some areas in Africa, it's very difficult to do that right now. So the easiest way, a single African air transport market.
Captain Musa Nuhu is Director General of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. Next, the honey market has seen significant growth in recent years, with consumers becoming increasingly interested in natural and healthy sweeteners. As a result, there has been an increase in production of honey by both small-scale and commercial beekeepers. However, this growth has also led to concerns over the quality and authenticity of some honey products on the market. The Joy Business Fund is a J24 Foods Limited owned by Judith Akosa Tama, which is fast becoming a major supplier of quality honey across the country.
Judith had no idea about beekeeping but decided to give it a try.
With the growing middle income earners in Ghana, even as far back as close to 10 years ago,